I'm done with improv.
You're the cold open guy.
Why am I the cold open guy? You got anything?
For a cold open?
Yeah.
No.
All right, let's start.
Let's go.
Worst cold open ever.
That was a frigid open. That was a subarctic.
It was a lukewarm open, is what that was.
Oh, perfect already.
Dry ice open.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Feeding the Ducks, the podcast giving you little breadcrumbs of entertainment on a weekly basis. I am one of your hosts, the VR maniac, Kyle.
I'm Joe.
And if you're watching on video, you will see there is somebody in between us.
Where the duck used to be.
Where the duck.
That's why the duck
new
is.
duck.
I don't know why you're saying that. We're in front of this brick wall. It's right there. See? It's right there. I am the 14th flavor in Dr. Pepper. My name is Tara.
Does Dr. Pepper have 13 flavors?
It does now.
I thought Dr. Pepper had 13 blends of 13 herbs and spices.
Yes, that's it. The chicken is great.
Yes. So today with us, we have my friend Tara Morgan from the band Freaks Over There.
Yeah.
Because as the time of this going out, you will have released your debut record.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's not like bad weird, but like surreal weird
Yeah.
to think about. Like that's already happened while recording this.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully future me got all the lyric videos done in time.
You're 8 out of 10. We're good. At time of recording, you are 8 out of 10.
8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, you're good. I saw the font.
So the album's out as we're talking.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Just I want to
Sure
know
is.
what part of the tense we're in. Future, past.
Yes. We're
available
gonna
everywhere except Bandcamp because I didn't feel like it.
That's fair. But you've done pretty much all of this album on your own. And
Yeah.
I think all of us, well, the both of us also can relate to this, the whole doing things without a, what's it called? Like without a
Budget?
team.
Money?
A budget, a team,
Talent?
stuff like that.
Ability?
Yeah. I was gonna argue with you on that last one, but nah, can't do it.
But you
Like, well, actually, no.
but so you've done pretty much everything on your own, and when making a musical project, that's a lot to do. How were you able to basically, well, first tell us a little bit about the entire process, because you also have a solo career, Tara, and this is a drastic tonal shift from that.
Yeah. I mean, you're. I wouldn't say I did this as just like just me. Like you're on the record, Nate's on the record, Emmett's on the record, Jake's on the record. Like a lot of the people from WMSC where we met each other,
Right.
ended up being on the album, and you guys not only that, but like have been around while I've been working.
Yes.
So it's not like, I wouldn't say it was just like me, in a room and just an album appeared. It's collaborative in its own way, but like it's kind of, I wanted to try something different. It started with eighth song on the record, which
Right.
is just like a 40-second song of me like it's 40 seconds. Like,
Right.
it goes that fast. And it was really aggressive and weird and different from anything like from the Tara stuff. So I was like, what if we push this a little more and we get like, maybe we could do 4 songs. Excuse me. Maybe we could do 4 songs and get like an EP done. And then like, I just kind of started to keep going with it. And now there's a whole album with like a through line and guests. And
That's what I was going to ask. Is there a theme throughout the songs?
Yeah.
Each song tells a story throughout that is similar?
Yeah. I like, one of my favorite albums ever in terms of like modeling stuff after is our friend Nate made an album called Carnivals with Friends.
Mhm.
It's very good. And like that has been kind of the blueprint for me, because that was another, like, that was like a 2-person project,
Mhm.
And it still had a concept.
Yeah.
It was recorded like, I think on like a box like this, like just like a like
Oh, really?
USB into a laptop, and it still had like a through line, a story, like a beginning, middle, and end.
Yep.
And you know, like that dictated how the tracks were laid out, and like there was a story through it. So like that's been my goal to like whenever I release like a full record is to try to aim for that.
Okay.
So it's I wouldn't say it's like it's not like, you know, like Tommy or anything where there's like characters per se, but like it has a narrative to it. It's all in video game, like all the song titles are video games. So
okay.
You know, that's kind of the language I use to like frame it. Like the first track is called Overwrite Previous Save. And in the middle where you know, which is like the lowest point, the interlude with JT Untamed on it is called Continue. Like, you know, like the arcade screens.
Okay. Yeah.
So like to symbolize like, you know, the character getting back up, and like so it's not like a story. I wouldn't say there's like characters, but it definitely has like a line of like trying to, you know, overcome and like face things that are terrifying, and I tried to, you know, wrap that up in as many pretty metaphors as I could and make it work.
And so, as you mentioned before, like a lot of us were in the room, like around you while you were working on it. And
I'm sorry.
What'd you do?
You heard some things.
Ah, you're good. What?
What'd you do on the album?
I wrote a song called "You're Prepared, Unprepared" that Tara named. But I did that. I helped write the bridge of another song, Sayonara Wild Heart.
Kyle did all of the visuals.
Those two.
I can't stress enough how much I didn't do that. Like all the lyric videos, the cover art, which is hiding back there on one of our computers.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like that whole thing, like I remember we were doing like I just put like a picture on Instagram of like the workflow for the album of like, you know, guitar, bass, mix, bounce, whatever, guest. And it kind of looked like a grid, and I was using green on black to like highlight. And Kyle's like, that kind of looks like, you know, like one of those old arcade cabinets, like
the vector images.
Yeah, and then he comes back with the album cover. Nice. And it's so good. And like just like being able to do stuff. That's why I say it's not like I wouldn't say it's just me. You know?
So you go through all that and then you do a drawing of a duck for our show. Just a little duck.
It's not a duck, it's the duck.
I mean, you just could have tried a little harder.
Most companies nowadays go with a very minimalist aesthetic.
Yes. It means you did it in 5 minutes, is what you mean.
No, I actually went through quite a lot of iterations.
Spray painted it on that brick wall behind us.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
The duck went through actually quite a lot of iterations, design wise.
It wasn't what I wanted.
Oh,
I wanted you
want to ray trace the duck? Oh God!
And I modeled an entire logo. I 3D modeled an entire logo for us that you scored also, by the way.
Yes. You should have mentioned that
I did the
theme song.
Yeah.
You could introduce that. But...
Oh, I should have.
Oh yeah. You want to start over? Want to do a cold open?
Hi, welcome to Feeding the Ducks. I'm Tara.
But going back to the whole, like, we've been in the room with you throughout this whole thing. I didn't like. It was amazing to watch this entire process unfold because I'm oblivious, or just like
This is true.
I unfortunately take a lot of things at like face value. I'm not as deep and metaphorical as I like to think I am. So just looking at the start of this album and just seeing everything named after video games, like, oh, that's cool. It's just another layer of like a theme to have. But then just even sitting, working with you and looking through the lyrics to make all the videos, I making the connections between each of those games and the lyrics that you and everyone else wrote. It was amazing to just kind of see that my idea of like, oh, this is just a simple theme to, oh, there's a much deeper meaning to this. What was of course. What was your process to like naming and connecting all the games and all the tracks?
That was fun because like, you know, I don't know how much pop punk stuff you grew up on, but like I very much came up in the Fall Out Boy world where like the title is like 5 pages. And it's, you know, but like there's always some weird like backwards connection once you get the reference, or like you know, that always was like, it was like finding something more about the song. It was like an Easter egg almost, like you found like a hidden like thing. So I kind of wanted to do that for all of them, I wanted like, different, like you mentioned the one, You're Prepared, Unprepared,
Yes.
which is it's a line from the game Control. And like that song kind of kicks off the second half of the album. You did the lyrics for that. That is a phenomenal song. I
Thank you.
love how that one turned out. We're past the, yeah, we're good. It's a fuck you song.
That's a minute.
It hits hard,
Right.
So what I wanted was something from a game where that's the theme, where like, the main character is just kind of thrown into this really insane world through some really dark circumstances and has to kind of like work their way up and is always learning and is always evolving and always has that kind of like, resilience to them.
Right.
That's what I saw in Control. That's why I picked a line from that game. And that's why I think it works. So like all of the songs are like that. They're all like something about the lyrics, something about what it's about. If I found that I could find that theme, we play a lot of video games. Like I could find a theme from
We have a video game show. We better be.
we goddamn right we do.
Another show? What?
Yeah.
Another show? Damn it.
Radio show at the moment, but it's getting to be bigger and
It's
better.
migrating
things.
like a duck.
Yeah, like a
Migrating.
duck.
But yeah, no, that was the goal. Was like because I didn't want to be like, not that there's anything wrong with this, but I didn't want to be like, take a line from the chorus, that's the title. Like that gets boring. Like that kind of gets boring if for me, not boring, but like I just feel like I want to like push it. I want to try to do something else. I want to like, okay, we're talking about video games. What video game can I think of that ties this together? Or like, and like, I think that's fun. I think it's part of like, what was enjoyable about making the record.
And that's just another credit to your writing skills to be able to make those connections.
The songs came first.
Right.
The songs like I don't think I wrote a song where I knew what the name was going to be first.
Right. Because you had different names for a lot of them going into it before.
Yeah. And like all the files are saved under like different things.
Yeah.
But that's why like I wanted to, it's fun for me. And I think it's fun for a listener too when you get to like kind of sink your teeth into it a little bit.
Oh yeah, totally.
Do you come up with music first or with words?
It depends. Usually it's lyrics.
Okay.
But like loose, like kind of just like I want to write a song about this. I guess some things that rhyme down, and then like I'll go and work on, because like this is a really heavy record, so a lot of it the drums came first.
Okay.
Because a lot of it is like the guitar, the drums, the bass all like lock in with each other and play like hit the same thing together. So a lot of times what would happen would be I would map out some drums, then I would do the instruments and like kind of start to like get an idea of what the song was, then go back, kind of shape the lyrics up to fit on like the music, and then kind of polish off both at the same time. And then that's when that moment of like it all kind of either clicks or doesn't,
And so I've been working with you for quite a while on a bunch of different projects. You've helped me do some original songs for Kingpin of Spades. We put together that entire musical in 2 weeks.
Casually.
My God, Nightmare Before World College Radio Day. Check it out. And of course, you're
Want
with...
to hear a story about how Daft Punk makes and then prevents World War III in musical form? You gotta see it. That was
that's
special.
what happens actually.
Yeah, it's something special.
And then of course you're helping me and Emil, and well, not helping, but you're with us on the Heavy's the Crown debut
I don't know
album.
what you're talking about. That's somebody else.
True. You're right.
I don't know if you and me are actually on that record.
They invited us.
Band,
yeah, they invited us to do one song.
Yeah, we got to do one, and not all of them.
But with all that, like I've seen you work, and it's amazing. And I've seen you wear all these different hats, like you said, the bass, the drums, the guitar, the vocals, the writing, and even the producing. You've wore pretty much every hat at least once for the duration of this project. Were there any of those roles that you had more experience over the other, or ones that were new ground to tread?
Music making is my strong suit. So like I learned on bass. That's where like, I learned, like I took lessons and stuff way back. And then I kind of fudged it over to guitar. I can play keyboard. Like I can't play piano in real time, but I know where the notes are. I can program. Like,
Right. Okay.
same with drums. So that I would think is the most natural. I would say is the most natural is like actually like the creative process. The part that sucks the most is the mixing, mastering, and because then you're not making anything. You're just, you have the song, it's done, it's right there, but you just have to sit there and balance everything and like spin knobs so like the guitar solo doesn't hurt people's ears. And you can hear the bass on everything, and the guitars are balanced, and the drums are, not too high, but they're loud enough. Like it's just like it's totally, to me, is the opposite of like, and it's, I'm sure like there are a lot of like mixers and producers out there that's their art. I'm just not one of those people.
Right.
So that was the hardest part, was that, and I was definitely more comfortable, I think, with, the creative part of it. But I got there, and, everything's kind of a learning experience. So like when we go back, and even going into the heavy record, I know things now about mixing.
Yes.
I know things about like how, what a heavy metal rhythm guitar needs to sound like.
Right.
And that I didn't know when I went into this. Just like when we did Nightmare, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know about, like, that could be done on the fly. Like, and, you have somebody like, people like us in the studio. Eventually we're going to figure it out. Like, that's the fun part, is like learning new skills, and like, getting to create. Is just the sitting there listening to it 1,000 times and picking out what's wrong with it is a little tedious.
Yeah.
For me. For some people, that's like what they do. Like,
oh yeah. No,
and
totally.
to their credit, somebody like, I don't know, like Butch Vig, or somebody like who is a like that's their art. I would never take that away from them. But for me, it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and if I spin this knob wrong, people's ears are gonna hurt when I hit the bass. So, that was the toughest part. But I think we got there, and learned a lot for going forward.
Right. Totally.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Oh, sorry.
Like, nodded at me like something. So when you're putting this together, who's your band? You got a team, or looking at the band? Okay, that's what I thought. So you're doing all the instruments yourself. So you're basically, I mean, your crew is you. We're looking at the whole production right here.
Yeah. I did all the instruments. Guitars and bass were done. Were recorded. Drums and keyboards were programmed. Because I don't have any drummer friends, and also I don't have the capacity to record drums. I've been in recording studios before. I do not envy like drum techs. Like, that's severe. But yeah, I played all the instruments, and what I couldn't play in real time, I figured out a way to program and round it out. But there's a lot of other vocalists on the record.
So now you've done that part of it, the artistic part. What is your plan to get this out there? How are you gonna? How do you promote this? Do you do live shows? Or you just is it still just you?
I would love to one day do songs from this record live. Also, Nate made a joke offhanded when we had our friend Jake, who performs as Not an Exit, is on one of the third song on the record. Nate offhanded was like, yeah, the Unplugged freaks over there, like, covers are going to go crazy. And I was like, we should do that. We should absolutely do that, because, we have acoustic guitars and mics that we can bang out live,
Oh.
But I've never...
If only we had like some kind of radio station that specialized in that kind of stuff.
A show called Unplugged. And the station was called WMSC, and it was on WMSCradio.com. Something weird like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I haven't like... Promoting is like, it's kind of like, I don't know, trying to follow like one piece of glitter in a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, I can't, like, it's really hard to keep track of like what does well and like what, like, and I've tried like trying to do TikTok and like use sounds and stuff. The amount of hate speech on TikTok is crazy, by the way. Crazy. Not just like people saying the music sucks, I can deal with, right? Like, that's whatever. You ran into that at your first time performing ever. Somebody started heckling. Like, there's always
somebody said you sucked.
The guy who oh god, what did he say?
The jaw guy? Oh, I thought the comment you were talking about us.
Oh no, not the jaw guy.
When
I did the high school stand-up comedy. whatever the guy said that he wouldn't shut up.
Like, I can deal with music hecklers. Like, some, like, I've taken to just like blocking them and whatever, but like, then you get people that just like see that I'm trans and then like that's the issue they take with it.
Mm-hmm.
And like go in and just like it literally just like hate speech in the comments of like me trying to promote a record. Like it's just so weird. I never understood like the type of person that gets satisfaction out of that, but they're there.
That's social media.
Problem with that is, and there's no reason to go on a whole tangent, but the problem is it's anonymous. You're not, they're not in front of you.
Yeah.
Because if they were in front of you, they'd lose a few teeth.
Well, Mike Tyson said that. He said social media gave people a lot of courage to say things without getting punched in the face.
Right. So like ducking that is you know, it's kind of tiring, but like the hardest part is trying to figure out what is actually going to get your stuff out there, because you asked like, what do you do to promote the record? And like, while you guys were finishing that question in my head, I'm just like, that's a good question, because like, it's weird, right? Like I want to be on TikTok as much as I can, because like, that's where a lot of stuff happens, but I also don't want to be like corny. Yeah. I don't want to be like, you know, like kitschy and like make it seem like I'm just, you know, trying to like, I don't know, like you can tell when people are being disingenuous, and I never want to do that.
Yeah.
But I also need to make sure people actually hear it.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to like split the difference and like, you know, promote it, but still, you know, not do anything like too stupid. But like that's a tough question, because I don't really know.
It's always been like I've done a couple independent films, and that was making the film was a lot easier than getting it out there into the world and promoting it and in front of people's faces,
because you want to be out, like you want to get your work heard, you want to do the absolute most you can to push it out there without sounding like an asshole.
Yes, exactly.
Because then if people feel like you're being disingenuous, then they're just gonna go the other way. And also, like, I hate when people do that to me. Like we've all had people be like disingenuous promoting something. Like you've seen it. Like it's corny. It sucks.
From him.
That's
during
crazy.
The show.
That's crazy. I did not let the record show. I want no part of that. But you know what I'm saying? Like that's the hard part, is like trying to figure out how to like, and like you said, we're not really doing live shows, so I can't be like, yo, come see us here. It's just like getting the recorded thing out there as much as possible. So
and
when I crack the code, I'll let you know, because I haven't.
I mean, even in today, where like the algorithms and all the social media have just been honed in to maximize your time on everything. I don't know if you've seen like what you have to do on Instagram to grow your account now.
No,
it's like,
but now it knows, like, if you rip a video from TikTok, it'll like
exactly
if it sees the TikTok watermark on it, it gets like, it'll lower your engagement.
It gets butthurt. Yeah. So like some things that you got to post reels every day, like the vertical videos every day.
And that's like all my Instagram is like stuff from TikTok, because we were moving houses, like, and like getting stuff figured out in like life. Like I can't make 3 different like things every single day and push that, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna port the video from TikTok, because I don't like.
I think there's some app, you didn't hear this from me, but I think there's some apps that remove that watermark, so Instagram won't recognize it. What?
Don't be throwing that shit out there.
Well, no, if they come through and like we want to sponsor an episode of Feed the Ducks, then absolutely. Then you can say whatever you want.
I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg's waiting to call us, telling us that he wants Meta to sponsor.
Meta is crazy.
Meta to sponsor. Yeah, I think that was the right wording. It's like reels every day. Post on your story 6 times a day.
Yeah. Remember, for those a while, YouTube was like, use as many tags as possible, right? And then I looked last night, because we were talking last night. I was uploading the lyric videos you did, which are fucking amazing.
Thank you.
And it literally says above where you put the tags in, other than like if your title gets confused, tags don't matter that much. It says that on YouTube.
Okay.
Tags.
Remember, like Instagram was like, use as many tags as you can, and now it's like, if you put more than 5, we're not going to promote it. Like that's the weird thing, because like, I don't know, I would love to do live shows at some point. Like that'd be awesome. But as it stands now, having just, you know, moved houses and like life outside of music is a lot right now, so like I can't really put a band together at the moment. So trying to push the recorded stuff and make it like, you know, in a way that's genuine and not just like, because you fucking TikTok musicians that push the same song are so annoying. They're so annoying.
Yeah.
I've been in that recently because we only while we're recording this before the album comes out. I just have one single out right now, which is called I Picked C. Emmett's on it. I love that song. But like now I'm doing that. Like now I'm just like, this is my one song. Go check it out. Here's the link. Like blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, I'm annoying.
That's what I always feel like every time I post something. I'm like, okay, I did it today. I don't want to do it again tomorrow. People can keep seeing it.
Right, exactly.
People sick of me.
But the problem is, it's like there's no consistency to any of it either. Like the reels we do for this show, where I have to first off flip the format because yay vertical video, because that's how how things are filmed.
That's hard work.
But like it's the same thing, roughly a minute each time. One of the best parts of the episode, 1 week, 2.2 thousand views.
Yeah.
Next week, 30.
Yeah, and I have yet to figure out.
Don't know what the code is.
Like I've heard the way like people kind of made a theory of how TikTok and like a lot of like those type of like short video things, like, you know, like the running theory, because no one knows, like the you know, it's the secret formula, you know, they keep that locked up.
Yeah.
But the theory is that like it'll show a small amount of people, see how the engagement is with them, and then if it's good among the random people, but that's the weird thing, right? Is that I don't fucking know if the people that TikTok sends my video to like punk rock, or like, you know, really like aggressively gay stuff, because it's a queercore record. A lot of the music is about my experiences as a trans woman. Right. Like, I don't know if the random people that TikTok picks like that shit. I don't know if they like heavy metal and screaming, like. Just like you don't know if the random people it picks even like podcasts. Yeah. So like it's just like luck of the draw completely, and I don't know how to like finesse that and make it work, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like even like when I first did reels on Instagram, I'm like, fine, I give in, I'll do whatever the algorithm wants. I made a video. First off, I modeled a buff Elmo. That's a story for another time. And I put it out first.
We got time. I want to hear the Buff Elmo story after this.
But I put that one out, 3,000 views, first reel. And now I'm lucky to get 100 on something.
Right. And like,
is it a time thing when you put it out? Is there some kind of?
Sometimes.
Don't know. I thought like,
well, whenever they think their most traffic is.
Time is definitely one thing I've noticed, or at least I thought I noticed, that 7 a.m. Was a good time for YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Because that's when we got a lot of traffic.
It's like for a while, TikTok was like early afternoon when people were like getting out of school.
But I think also because now summer's starting and people aren't waking up at 7 anymore to go to school and whatnot, it's probably why we're not getting as much.
Yeah.
Is that the reason? It's not the.
I'm working on theories here, man.
Like the only reason I sidelined into this when you asked what, like, because like, you know, I work on the radio too, and like my usual go-to question of what's next, like I was thinking about that doesn't really apply because I can't, like, you know, we're not touring or anything. There's not gonna be shows. I'm gonna be doing like, hopefully, like me and Jake were talking about maybe doing some open mic stuff, but like
that's cool.
There's not really, it is, but like there's not really plans of like we are going to do this.
Yeah.
So right now it's just trying to like figure out how to shill without being like that person.
Yeah.
You know? Which is, you know, again, like you learn a lot. You learn how not to, you know, what people kind of sort of what people like and what they don't, how not to deal with hate comments, which is, I think I said something about the guy's mother and then I got in trouble for that.
You got really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. dude was none too pleased.
Yikes!
Because like I don't know. I don't like the idea of people being able to come in and say whatever they want and not get answered.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
But like at the same time, if you answer them, you're giving them the validation they want.
That's the two sides of the coin.
Attention.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I've taken, now I just block and like, you know, but like there was a while where I was trying to like box with people and you can't keep up with them.
Yeah, I usually, we don't get many. That's one of my biggest things is like, I don't care if you don't watch the video or if you don't like it or whatever, but like the lack of engagement is what bothers me the most about putting everything. Like I put art out, I put hours into the work and stuff, like, cool. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the people look at it, but I just want to be like worth someone, like even a comment that's like, nice job. That's all.
Oh, that's the best.
That could work. But like, that's so rare.
It is. I had somebody tag someone else in the comments to listen to the song, and I was just like, I did it.
That's cool.
We're good.
We made it. We made it.
But and it's like sometimes like, and people make a big deal about like watching or listening to your own stuff all the time. But I think you just have to support yourself when like you don't have anyone else, like you don't have a fan base or a crew or anything. Like I listen to the song you put out with Emmett and the ones we put out or the ones that Crown put out because, well, we've put time and effort into them and they are genuinely good to listen to. And yeah, people are like, oh, but you're just increasing the view count so you get paid or whatever. I'm like, Spotify gives me half of a fucking cent every time I listen to a 3-minute song.
Like we are. This is not a scheme.
No.
Like we can't. Like people would have figured that out by now.
Yeah.
Like you could listen to your own stuff and get like paid for it. But I remember like, you know, my other thing is you were asking about like the different types of jobs, like, you know, making a record. That's a huge part of it is listening to it back. I listen to my stuff back all the time, not just to like learn from like, you know, okay, this could have been better, this worked, whatever. But like as a mixer, every set of speakers behaves different.
Yes.
Your car, my car, Nate's car, all made that same song sound different.
Yes.
Different headphones, in-ear headphones, over-the-ear headphones, my laptop speakers, the speakers that I mixed the record on, like they all behave different. So of course I want to listen to it as many times as I can.
Of course, yeah.
Like that helps me do my job. And like also support like, you know, like people that are on the song and whatever. But like that's part of the deal. I don't know. I feel like everybody who makes art goes back to look at what they did. Why wouldn't you?
Do you mentioning that because when you look back at it, when you play this album back, do you go like, there, I could have did that there or that there?
Yeah.
I've done that with my writing all the time. All the time.
Especially
like,
with the
I
mix.
Missed that one. I should have did that. I should have did that.
Especially with the mix, because like I said, that's not really like where my strong suit is. Like I'm like, the kick drum's not really high enough here. The worst fucking thing is if you put your music in a playlist with like professionally mixed stuff. And like hearing the difference is so demoralizing. I'm just like, oh man.
Did you have people listen to it before you put it out? Like anybody catch anything? Or did you
I would drag people to the car. Just be like, I think the mix is ready. Just come. I need another set of ears. Just listen to this. Which has kind of been our like way of doing things for a while. Like when the stuff is ready to go, we're just like, come here.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I not so much the mix, but for me, since I'm more lyric focused, I do that all the time. Just hearing my written stuff and then hearing a person who has like even like 500,000 Spotify listeners. So they're not necessarily the biggest thing in the world, but still like, I'm like, I feel like this is child's play. Oh wait, no, child play implies easy.
Well, no, like it's childish.
My stuff, I find my stuff to be like childish or like too simple almost.
Which it's not. As somebody who like has literally sung your lyrics, it's not. Like that fucking line about the reaper comes from everyone, I won't be spared just because I'm part of the crowd is golden. But like it's like listening to your own stuff back, you're always the most critical. You're always like, like, oh wait, I laid the vocals in. It's like a nanometer. Like you can hear it. Like, or like, you know, it's something like, especially if you're like, I didn't do that much clean singing. I didn't do any clean singing on this record. So it's mostly about like rhythm and stuff, like where the screams like fall into place. Like, people are like, I wouldn't have caught that if you didn't tell me. I'm like, yeah, but I hear it. But it's not there. Yeah, but it's off by me. You know, like
now I've been following you, like I've not following, working with you for a while, and
I actually found Kyle in the backseat of my car one day. I adopted him,
GTA 5 style.
Holy.
But you taught yourself how to scream for this record. How was like what was the process of that? Because if you do that wrong, you can fuck up your throat.
Those were the stakes, right?
Yeah.
Like, not just from singing, but like for, you know, we do radio, like, and I want to keep doing that as a career. Like I want to keep wherever my career lands, I kind of usually end up talking. So like I need my voice to be like at least somewhat okay. So it's hard, like, especially starting out because like you have to produce like the distortion from somewhere that's not your vocal cords. Right. That's how you hurt yourselves. If you strain your vocal cords, like you've heard singers blow their voices out. Yeah. You know what it sounds like. And a lot of screaming people, like I know it happened with Corey Taylor from Slipknot, it happened with Davey from AFI, it happened with Chester from Linkin Park, rest in peace. But like a lot of the really big screaming guys have ended up having, after they get, signed and get some time and money to themselves, going back and taking like proper lessons on how to not fuck their voices. So I was just trying to like go and find as many of those as I could. And like I still think it needs work. Like I would like to get my lung capacity up, because a lot of the screams on the record, like we did in 2 different tracks. Like I would do one line and then breathe, and then in the other track I would do the next line and then breathe. So like I definitely think like, I wouldn't say I cracked the code, but I settled into this kind of like, false chordy type thing.
Right.
It's not a fry scream. Like fry screaming's better for stuff like this. Like that's the type of thing like you hear like Ice Nine.
Yeah.
That's fry screaming. Same with any of those bands, like
all the like metalcore bands.
That's fry screaming. But like a band like the one that I know is like Meshuggah. Like that's a false chord scream where it's like it's lower, it's not as like flexible, but it's the one that I figured out how to do without hurting myself. So like I figured out more or less how to make the distortion and like shape it without straining my voice, which is the goal.
Yeah, because I'm big on singing along to music, which is why I lean a little bit towards more rock and roll, because I can sing it realistically. But like I'll have a night where I just like scream along to like more screamy music, and the next day my voice is gone. So I know I'm not doing it right, but I would love to learn how.
There's 2 songs. One of them is called Medic.
Yes.
And the other one is the last song on the record called Life's Full of Maybes. Medic was a song that was like, I kind of blocked out that day, and the next day I was like, because a lot of personal stuff goes into a record like this.
Yes.
A lot of like what I've been dealing with and what's been happening goes into it. I'm not the type where I can write shit that doesn't have to do with me. I can't do that.
I've noticed that is a harder thing to do. Write a song that is less like that doesn't have some sort of personal connection. Right. I don't know how like power metal does it.
No, where it's
here's
like
80 songs about fighting a dragon.
Bless. But like even like it's like part of the reason I want to do a record that was this like screamy and like aggressive was because I wanted to get like work through some stuff. Like that was part of the reason I did it. So there are 2. It's mostly on Medic that it happens where you could hear I go out of it. Like I'm just shouting. Like you could, like if you listen to it back, you can hear that song. Like I'm not screaming properly. I'm not shouting until like my voice breaks by the end of it. There's 1 or 2 passes at the end I cut off where like my voice started cracking and just broke, because it was, it's what I need to do. It was what like that song. That's the oh shit song, right? That's before the interlude and the second act. That's the last song in the first act. That's like in a lot of ways is the darkest song on the record. Like that's like about some, and I say it in the song. I talk about like trauma and stuff. Like I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to stuff like that. So I just kind of said it. Yeah. Like I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. I know I'm gonna like this is not gonna sound proper. I'm gonna fuck my voice a little bit, but like it's just gonna be here and that's it. Yeah. So that song, like if you listen, it's that one my voice sounds rough. But the rest of them, it was more about like trying to, we said, just not pull from the vocal cords and find like a spot where you can, push air through that sounds cool and also doesn't hurt.
Right. Now, question for the room. First off, how long has everyone been like doing their main creative fields? Like Tara, you with music, you over there with writing.
How long?
Yeah, like how, not like professionally, but how long have you been putting stuff out there, let's say?
I want to say like 12 years about.
Okay.
Not putting stuff out there, but like when I first started making music, like I first like learned, like started taking lessons for bass.
Yeah. So like Photoshop I've been doing since like maybe 8th grade or whatever, but like the more drawing stuff I've only been doing for like the past 3-ish years. So
like you're going back to like USA Network and stuff, because we're going over 20 years with.
let's go
this stuff.
independent.
Independent.
When have you how long have you doing your own thing?
I did Stuck in the Middle in 2011. So let's put it there. So that was
years.
Stuck in the Middle was 13 years ago. Wrote it.
Right there.
That's the poster. Yeah,
Yes.
wrote it, directed it, paid for it. Put about 15,000 into it and made about six, not 6,000, $6.
And how many do I need to pass? 600.
I got 6. But yeah, that was about 13 years ago. We did that little thing.
Okay, because I want to ask like how everyone feels about like their growth process, because like how they've seen themselves grow. Because so the day we're recording this, about 17 minutes ago, I put out another video on my art channel where I took a drawing I did from 2020 for a school assignment and redid it. And just the difference between those 3 or 4 years was just amazing.
So to see if you've grown, gotten better, what you've learned. I've learned what not to do. I know that.
Well,
don't put $15,000 into a movie.
That's part of it. Learning what works well for you or your style and what doesn't.
Yeah, don't put your own money into it. That's what I learned. That was the best lesson of all.
Okay, well, you got to spend money to make money. So
is that how that works?
Eventually, friend Owen told me that.
I mean, we sunk some money into Ducks just for equipment and even promotion, and it's paying off a little bit.
Yeah, look at this wall.
We actually got a bricklayer in
we
to do
actually
this.
brought someone to
3.
build this.
That's 3. I'm keeping track. What like is that the question? Like what have I learned not to do, or like...
not? But just like how do you feel about seeing yourself then versus now, like seeing improvement, and like what worked well for you and what didn't? That's take all the time you need. We don't have dead air.
Real quick. We ain't gonna we don't have the 7
second. We're good. We're good.
I'm not used to that. I'm also not used to being able to say fuck and not worrying. But like that was a weird thing too. Is like there wasn't as much cursing on the records as I thought there would be. I thought I was gonna write more.
Yeah, I've noticed actually going through it. Like
there's only a couple songs that actually like, especially like toward the end, like. But like I thought there would be more.
Right.
So I don't like this is a whole like novel in itself. I'm not gonna go into the whole thing now, but like I don't think it's possible to think about like your growth as an artist without thinking about your growth as a person.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
You know, like especially because like you know who we are and what we like, what happens in our life informs the art we make.
Yeah.
And like guides us, like, or even what we like even what we're listening to, you know, like what kind of music we're listening to, what kind of stuff we're watching, whatever.
Yeah.
So like,
I used to like epic rap battles.
Yeah, they got some bars.
Exclusively epic rap battles.
I was ready to defend you. I was like, they got some bars in there. You know that.
When that's your workout playlist, you gotta reevaluate some things.
Okay, but metal as a workout playlist doesn't work. I'm just gonna say that. It has never worked for me. Because it's all like serious stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's all like, you know, singing about like really serious things. I can't do that while I'm trying to like not think about how heavy what I'm lifting is.
Very true. Very true.
I'm sure somebody in the comments is gonna be like, what do you know about working out? I'm like, we'll get there. But like, I don't know. It's kind of wild to be like, you know, now I have like a concept album out, like an album with a story and instruments and like guests, like. I didn't think I would like, you know, if you go back 12 years, bro, I didn't think I would live this long. Like things happen. I didn't think I would make it to 27, let alone like, you know, having people that, you know, I care about and they care enough about me to be on a thing that we're making that's not going to, you know, has nothing to do with like money or anything. It's not. And just like being able to do that is incredible. Like I didn't think I'd be here.
I feel weird about that because we've worked with people who have specifically said, like, we don't expect this album, Crown, to make millions right off the bat. But there's still a set system in place where whatever we do make can be easily distributed between all of us. And yet we've worked with people who have specifically said, hey, don't worry about that for me. I'm just doing this for fun.
Right. Especially with people we've interviewed.
Yeah.
Like that, like there's people that, Dan Avidan doesn't need to be fucking with college radio. Like he's already established, Joan Jett doesn't need to be fucking with college radio. Like they do it because they want to, like stuff like that. So like, but like even being at a point where like I would have people that I would like thinking where I would be like, oh, I have people that I'm going to call and, we're going to hang out and make a record. Like I didn't think that would happen. So like for me, like obviously like, there's a lot of stuff I learned not to do, but like, it's wild. It's amazing. Right. It's been a lot. And I didn't think I'd be out here honest with my gender identity on a record, dude. I think I'd be coming out here writing songs about like coming out and like surviving that process, like losing pieces of your family, like stuff like that. Like I didn't think I would make it through that. And so to be able to make art and like make music, like you could, that's not that there's anything wrong with sad pop music, but music that you could bang your fucking head to. Yeah. Like it's awesome. It's incredible. Like, so seeing that journey it's been amazing. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're done per se yet, but I do want one thing because from all your features on the record, we actually got something together.
What? You did what?
I realize this is going to make my editing job a little harder. But
you didn't tell me.
What?
You didn't. I thought I was going to be getting things.
Oh, well, yeah, because this is also like a birthday present for you.
Oh, well, yeah, this coming on my birthday. Holy shit. That is a physical. Bro.
It is a vinyl of Checkpoint, which probably is not showing up because it's green on green.
Yeah, green might be a problem.
It's going to have duck on it. But that's like. Holy shit, thank you so much.
Of course.
This is bro. You don't have to do this. Come on.
I mean, I had all the tracks from the lyric video. I figured, why not?
Holy shit, this is a physical copy. Yeah. I'm not gonna look at it now because the plastic is gonna make your job even harder. But like, thank you so much.
Oh, of course. I was a little tough because for if you know anything about art, print and digital are in different color formats.
Really?
Yes. So digital is in an RGB color whatever.
Check for spelling errors. He doesn't spell well.
We already did that. We already did that because neither do I.
And then print is more is CMYK color channel, like the ink in a printer.
Yeah.
And so uploading it, they're like, hey, make sure this is in CMYK. I'm like, I didn't make it for that.
It's like, are you sure?
And so I thank God it turned out as well as did. I was really worried.
So awesome.
I was really worried the cover, especially the glow, was not going to translate well to physical, and I'm so happy it did.
So awesome.
Small disclaimer, I do not know which side is which. It was not labeled. So good luck with that.
We can figure that out in about 2 seconds because the first side starts real soft with the spoken word intro with Nate. The second side starts with our song.
Oh, you're right.
So it's going to be really easy to tell if you hear like a relaxing, like contemplative keyboard, or if you get hit with a freight train. Like that's how you're going to tell which side of the record it is.
Very true.
The second act starts strong.
Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to it, not just separately for each of the videos, which I did not do in order of track, oddly enough.
Well, yeah, because you're working on them.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, I didn't do like, track 1, then track 2, I jumped around a lot. I went like 1, 2, 4, 6. Well, technically I started with 9.
Yeah, because that was the single, was the 9th song.
My song actually is going to be, was the one I did last.
Yeah.
Video wise, just because.
You can play Control now, so you'll get like, I hope you get like.
Well, yes, if I can find enough space on the computer.
Copy.
It has
Roger.
But just like listening to it cover to cover is insane.
I'm gonna blow up both of your spots right now. You got a favorite song on that record?
3 or 4. Follow the Damn Train or Sign Our Wild Heart.
Yeah, I can't answer.
I'm also trying to be unbiased between favorite song and favorite lyric video.
Favorite lyric video is Damn Train right now.
That is mine too so far.
It's so good.
Wow.
It's like you did that thing with like what do they call it? The board.
Like the message board. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that worked out as well as it did.
You got a place to find the videos? You want to push that to find the videos?
Yeah. Well, obviously, if anyone wants to find out anything, like follow you more, and of course, if you want to see the lyric videos, they should be on the all up by the time the record comes out, right?
I've uploaded all the ones you've sent me so far, ready to go. So on June 23rd, which is my birthday, Freaks Over There, or on our socials is Freaks Over There Band. That's going to be there. It's all going to be there. And it's also going to, wherever you get music, Spotify, Apple, or we distribute to all of those.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be, that's severe. It's so wild looking at Spotify and like original music. Like there is a Heavy as the Crown Spotify.
Yeah.
Like that is crazy. Did you get to listen to any of the record yet? I'm just curious.
Was that?
Did you get to listen to any of the album yet?
Yes. Well, we were listening to it the other night.
Oh,
I think it's really good. It's really good. I like, I was interested in, how you start off with the kind of the narrative, the little intro,
yeah,
and go into. I always love when something done like that. I think that was done very well.
That's kind of what I like, because like, I mean, Nate is a multifaceted musician. I wouldn't pigeonhole Nate as a rapper.
Oh, no, not at all.
But Father Rhyme is what they publish all their hip hop and rap stuff under. So I'm like, I was like, we could go one of two ways with this. We could do like a rap rock thing, which we're gonna do later, but not for this. Or we could, just have you come up with like lyrics. And I did the same thing with JT. The way they approached it was wildly different.
Really?
Yeah, because Nate, like I had Nate do the intro and I was like, more or less, I was like, it's a 2-act thing where, the story is more or less, build yourself up, bad shit happens, you fall. Second act, build yourself back up. You figured out how to get through the bad shit. It's still scary, but you end on a higher note than what, like the middle. So I was like, I want like, the moment of like when you start a new game or something, or you start a new adventure, like the moment where you get the quest, right? Where you like, the things like, you play Zelda, like it's dangerous to go alone. Take this, like that moment. I was like, can you give me that? And instead of putting it to a rhythm, I'm going to come up with like some like spacey stuff and we'll just put it there.
Yeah.
Nate banged that out in one day.
Really?
Yes. He banged that entire thing out in one day. JT, who did the interlude in the middle, I did the same thing. I was like, here's the prompt. Okay. Right. The worst has happened. Because at that point in the record, the worst has happened. Like it was like the hardest 2 songs for me to write were 4 and 5. And the interlude is 6. So I was like, and I told him, I was straight up, I was like, look, the second to last song is about, this. The song before that's about this. Tell me to get back up.
Yeah.
How would you do it?
Yeah.
JT didn't write anything. JT did 5 passes of different characters, like the aggressive approach, the kinder approach, the more matter-of-fact approach, and just did them all, no music. Spoken. Really? And then I was like, okay, we have 5 passes. They all say different things. What do I do? So that's when I came up with that trick of like, cutting them up and having it sound like, they're panning left and right, like it's coming from different places, because it was coming from different places, And
it's cool too, because I used the same, because they weren't tied to a specific game, those 2 tracks.
Yeah.
I used the same rough style as the start of the, as the cover of the album, the whole vector, the old school vector image, but they turned out wildly different as well.
Yeah, because the lyrics came from different places,
And I also want to say real quick, back to favorite song. 10 hits hard.
Does it?
Yes.
In a good way, I hope.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't tell anybody about 10.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't tell any of you about 10. The only people that know about 10, well, they're gonna know by the time this comes out. But so for me, the story ends at 9. Like 9 is I picked C, Ain't That a Bitch, which, if you played Grand Theft Auto, you know this. Option C in the last game, because you get to pick the ending of the story, right? Because the options in A or B are kill one friend or kill the other friend to appease, villains in the game.
Okay.
Or option C is labeled as Death Wish, implying that you're going to die, but you're going to try to fix everything, and you end up fixing everything.
Okay.
You end up like everyone survives despite the world's best efforts. So that's why I named track 9 that. That's what, you know, kind of what the lyrics are about.
Right.
Because that's, to me, that's the end of the story. 10 is just me saying thank you to you guys, like, for existing in my life. Like, that was just my excuse to do that.
Well, that's a beautiful track.
Thank you. That one was weird too, because that was all loops. Like, I made that with loops.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was just like, I did a clean guitar thing, and then I was like, cut.
Yeah.
4 bars. Now what? And just started like building up from there.
It works.
But yeah, that was just for you guys, and for like, you know, just for the, you know, if you know, you know. It's also like a chance to like kind of wrap the narrative full circle, because like the last thing I say is like, you know, I'm fucking terrified, but I'm fucking ready to play. Like, I'm ready to do this. Even though sometimes you need to stop, you need to pause, because the first lyrics that Nate says on the album are to pause is to, you know, like, it's to have that moment of like bringing it full circle. I was like, I gotta. So that was people that were mentioned in 10 don't know about 10. Only Nate knew about it because Nate was in the room.
Nate was on it, and I know about it.
I was like, Kyle, I'm gonna send this to you. Can you listen to it like tonight? I was like, you're like, why? I'm like, just, it's important. Right?
I heard. So one last thing. I heard it the night you sent it to me, and I was listening to lyrics, and I heard. I'm like, did you do what I think you did?
Goddamn right.
And then you sent me the lyrics, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
Goddamn right, I did.
Oh my God, it was beautiful, because I didn't expect like that. Like, I'm not really in the camp of like, oh, people love, like, I don't believe people love me. Kind of like,
I know
that.
you don't.
Holy crap.
Dude,
no,
shut
I
up
know
over
you
there.
don't. Because I tried to say something nice to you last night, and you were like, nah, not really. And I'm like, I see what the fuck is going on here. You and me are the same like that.
You said
like,
you said the thing wouldn't be possible without me, and I wrote back, well, you made the music.
You said in so many words, not really.
I said you made music, which is arguably a little more important for an album.
And I was like, I see you come from the same school as me. If no one can say anything nice about you when you internalize it. So I'm with you on that. But that's, you know, I figured, like, I don't know, like, a lot of lately has been like, you know, I'm not going to harp on this too much, because it's kind of, you know, it's in the 4th track, but like, we lost one of our friends recently. Right. He was 23, and like, that's kind of been like, you know, COVID started this thing with me where I was just like, we don't have time to not say things.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have time to do that, because like, you know, I lost people over COVID too, that like, you know, and like, there were things I wish I could have said to them. And the same thing, you know, when our friend died, like, I stayed in contact as best I could, but like, you know, the circumstances were fucked. Remember that? Like, we were all trying to go visit him, and he was sick, and like, we couldn't see him, and then he ended up passing before we could.
Yeah.
So like, I'm very much in the camp right now of just like, fucking say it. Just say it. Just like, so that's what I did. That's why I was like, I don't know. If I care about people, I'm fucking tell them I care about them. Why not? Like, we don't have, like, time is weird. Time is not like guaranteed. It's kind of fucked up. Like,
it's
so
awful.
that's why I want to do something like 10. Why, like, you know, I don't know. I'm a big fan of the direct approach.
That's fair.
For better or worse. Sometimes for worse, but
right.
You know, that's why I want to do something like that.
But Checkpoint by Freaks Over There, the debut album, is out.
Hold on, I can hold it up. Oh, it's gonna have duck on it. That's appropriate though. This is like a crossover. It is green screen green.
Yeah,
I just noticed that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
It's amazing how many green things I don't notice are gonna F me up until it happens. But the debut album is out now on all streaming services, and you can follow Freaks Over There at
Freaks Over There Band on any of the socials you wanna of which you partake, except Twitter, because I don't give Elon the satisfaction.
I don't have the time for Twitter.
I was like, nah, or I take my stand.
That's why he takes care of that.
Not going well.
So Freaks Over There, find us at FTD Cast on all the places, Instagram, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn?
Yeah, we're on LinkedIn.
Are you serious?
He set it up.
But on LinkedIn, we're a business. We're a business. We're a conglomerate.
I need to connect with Feed the Ducks.
All that stuff. I'm at Kingpin Creations, King with a Y. He's Joe Pep, 1 or 27, depending.
No, not even close. Go ahead.
Oh well, sucks to suck.
What's gonna happen is Kyle's gonna edit your correct social medias over your face right now.
But also, Tara, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having
Good
me.
luck with the album. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.